Start. Hi, this is Venkat here again. Today we'll talk about values, right? Before that, I hope you've been watching my videos on the YouTube channel or on Facebook or on LinkedIn. If you like them, please do subscribe to them by clicking the like button or clicking the subscribe button on the YouTube. Now, this is a very interesting story which I read several years ago, and it's very, very critical and it aligns with our values. Now, my question is, what would you do when you see a red traffic light? What's the answer? Of course, you would say, I will stop. That's great. Everyone would do. That's the logical answer. Now, let us look at some of the situations for this red light. What would you do when there's a policeman, right? I'm sure you would stop because you don't want to get fined, because there's a checks and balances. Now, what if there is no policeman to check and the guy in front of you just goes past the red light? Would you also follow him? Think about it. Or somebody behind you starts then honking because the guy in front of you has just passed the red signal and moved away, and then the guy behind you starts honking. Will you, jump the signal and go away? Think about it. Or what if you're late to office, and then if you don't reach on time, your boss is going to really penalize you. So would you jump the signal? Or let's take another situation. What's in the middle of the night, there's absolutely no traffic on the road and the signal gets to red. Will you stop there or will you just move away? Think about it, right? Or what if there's an emergency? Will you stop the red light or will you move away? So these are, your situations. And I'm sure your responses have started changing from where we started. When I asked the first question, will you stop with the red light, you would have said yes. But when you go through the situations, maybe the answers change. Now, think about it. Were there any situations in your life where you didn't stop for the red light, right? I'm sure there are many situations where we don't stop, isn't it? Yeah. We all know what's the right thing to do, right? The right thing is to stop. However, we find ourselves not doing the right thing at certain points in time, correct? Most of us think it's all right to violate the situation occasionally if the situation gets on us. Now, let me ask you another question. Will you steal $1 million from the company where you're working? Of course, you would say no, never, right? That's like the red light question. But when the situation changes, right? For example, what if it's in the middle of the night and you were alone, right? Do you steal money? You would still say no. What if you have a medical emergency and you don't have cash at all, right? And you need the money desperately. Will you take the money thinking that, okay, tomorrow when I will go withdraw from somewhere and put the cash back, will you steal that money temporarily overnight? Think about it. Or imagine if you don't have an accountant who does the checks and balances for your books of accounts and the cash. Will you take the money away? Think about it. There's a lot of intelligent people who get into trouble doing silly things at work, like fudging the books or doing some insider trading, etc. No, this has actually been a big question mark to me. I used to wonder, why people who have done their MBAs from some of the top institutions go to jail. Nobody studies an MBA from some of the premier institutions and to go to jail, correct? The problem is the red light, right? We should learn to stop whenever we see the red light, irrespective of the situation. That's the key. Everyone knows what's the right thing to do, but we make exceptions to the rule and rationalize it. That's when the problem starts, right? Saying it's okay to jump a red signal at 2 a.m. when nobody's around, nobody's watching us. Or, at some other situation when it's convenient to us. See, what happens is when you start jumping the signal at 2 a.m., slowly that habit starts creeping in. So that 2 a.m. becomes, 12 a.m. Then you say it's okay. If 2 is okay, 12 is okay. 12 at night is fine. Then slowly that becomes 9 p.m. at night. And then it becomes 6 p.m. and then it becomes habit before you realize that's become part of your system. And it just becomes, jumping a signal it happens at all hours, right? See, it's like this. No one suddenly decides to steal $1 million. It always starts small and increases gradually, and it becomes so large, destroying their own lives, right? So the next time you see a red light, just stop. It doesn't matter what time it is, whether someone is looking at you, whether there's a cop, whatever it is, whatever situation, just stop. See, understand this. It's always easier to hold on to the principles 100% of the time rather than doing it 95% of the time, correct? Because that 5% will become a 10% and 10%, as we say, will get diluted over time. I ask this question to people that, are you on diet? And some of them say 90% of the time. Now you realize the red light situation, 90 will become 80 and 80 will become 50 one day, and then this whole dieting will go away. Never mind. My suggestion is hold on to your values. Don't allow situations to get better of you. Will you? That's the question. I'm sure you will. It's never all right to break the rules. You need to value those values. Now, let's see what are the learnings from this short discussion. To me, there are 3 learnings. Number 1, ethical slippery slope is the first learning. This ethical decision making is a slippery slope. So we make minor exceptions to these principles or the rules, and gradually it starts slipping away when it gets to more significant decisions, and then the whole value system cracks. The second learning is rationalizing the ethical choices. See, we often justify our unethical actions by quoting exceptional circumstances, like it was in the middle of the night, 2 o'clock, and there was no traffic, I was alone on the road, etc., etc. And this leads to compromise of your own principles, right? We should actually never be doing that. The third important is the importance of consistency, right? Consistency in maintaining these principles is the key. Whether it's stopping at red light or following any guidelines, which are governing us, or the rules in the institution we work. It's crucial to uphold one's values. Now, just to summarize, there are 3 learnings: ethical slippery slope, rationalizing the ethical choices, and the importance of consistency. Now, let me ask you 3 questions so that you can just think over it and then comment on those in the comments below. The first question is, can you recall a situation in your own life when you were tempted to compromise on your principles? Let me repeat. Can you recall a situation in your life when you felt tempted to compromise on your principles? And the follow-up is, what influenced your decision-making process in such situations? So that's the first question. The second question is, how can you build the strength to resist rationalizing unethical behavior and consistently uphold your values, even if you are facing some challenging situations? Let me repeat. How can you build the strength to resist rationalizing unethical behavior and consistently uphold your values even when you are facing some challenging situations? The third and final question is, what are the red lights in your life you would like to review and address it today? Are there any of them? Just think about it. What are the red lights in your life you would like to review and address it today? I hope you liked this video, and if you like it, please do click the like button below and also subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you will get notifications as and when a new video is released. Remember, never to break your values. Take action. And that's all for today. This is Venkat signing off. Goodbye and take care.